Welcome to my BTG daily recap. BTG stands for Beyond the Gates. It premiered today, Monday, February 24th, 2025. Well, the show really kind of highlights and it introduced us to the character of the main core family, which are the Duprees. So we got to, be introduced to some of what's going on in their lives. The main drama mama is Danny Hamilton. She's getting ready to go through a divorce. Actually, she is divorced now. But Danny, you may know her from Passions. You may know her from Young and the Restless, and I forget her name. Mosley, I think is her name, last name, the actress. But anyway, I want to play the intro, the video intro for the show. It's really kind of cool. So let me show that right now. It has a car going into the gates. It's a private community. This is the opening where they show the main characters, the Duprees, uh, Carla Mosley. There's a lot of characters. Bottom line, it's going to take a minute to learn all of their names, and who are they related to. But that'll just be a quick minute. It won't be too long, everybody, to learn all that. Today, we got to see the matriarch, Dupree, the mama, and she's having lunch at the country club, supposedly with her two daughters. But Danny's running late because she's busy breaking mugs against the wall. She's mad about the divorce. She feels humiliated because now they live in a private gated community that somehow allegedly they're saying was founded by the Dupree family. Now they haven't gotten into it. Was great granddaddy Dupree or granddaddy Dupree? Did he own all this land? Because their house is just one of the houses in the whole gated community, and there's a country club there, the whole 9 yards. Beautiful. When you're driving, to show the car driving further into that, they've got must be a pond, a huge lake. It's gorgeous. Okay. Well, Danny lives in the estates, the gated community estates. I forget, Fairmont Estates. And so does her parents, because allegedly it's founded by them, right? Well, the ex-husband, Danny's husband, who is, I guess it's Timon Hamilton. No, he's Bill Hamilton. Bill Hamilton bought a house in that private gated community. Now, his new wife, not a problem. People get divorced, right? The new wife was their daughter's best friend. So, what has Danny so upset is the girl didn't really have family. So, since she was her daughter's best friend, they pretty much took her under her wing. She ate dinner at their house most of the time. She was there. Now, the older daughter, who is Naomi's married to a detective, and they showed them rolling in the hay before she went to lunch. She was late getting there. He's a detective. But it was like the betrayal. Danny says, here, welcomed her into my home. She ate at my table more times than not. I convinced my husband to give her a job because Bill Hamilton is a famous attorney. Um, Danny's father actually had a hand in Bill's law practice becoming so prominent because Danny's father is a senator. Um, so, he's rising, has high powered clients, and she played the dutiful wife. Apparently, she had a budding career. She started modeling, Danny did, at the age of, I think, 17. And she got married very, very young and got pregnant with Naomi very early on. So, and then Chelsea is her other daughter that Danny had. She goes, you know, I did everything. I gave him two beautiful daughters, raised the daughters. She acted like the proper wife. She never cheated on him. But one thing her mother and her sister were saying, but Danny, you completely just gave up who you were to be who he needed you to be. Now, we haven't truly got into the real story with the mother. I do know the mother is a singer. And apparently, the mother did not give up everything because her husband was a senator. So we will get deeper into that story because she says, your father never, ever expected me to change, even when I became a mother. Your father supported me in my dreams like I supported him in his. Now, then they had a scene where the patriarch, who's the father, Mr. Dupre, the senator, he was meeting his grandson at this, you know how Young and the Restless has the coffee house, Crimson Lights, where they have their other little community hangout. I forget the name of it. And he was meeting him there, and come to find out the grandson is a congressman. So he is on the road up and coming in politics. The son, and that is Nicole's son. Nicole is the oldest sister of Senator Dupree and his wife, the oldest daughter. Okay. So her son is a senator, congressman, I'm sorry, a congressman. And then they showed a constituent praising the senator and his grandson, yada, yada, yada. We see the friend, and so far we've got a white couple. She's a nurse. I didn't get what he was. I know she's a nurse, and this was her first day on the job since she became a nurse. And he made her a nice breakfast and, blah, blah, blah. Um, he was just in a little apron with no shirt on, and, it's kind of cute. But then it was interesting. Towards the end, she shows up at work, and one of the other sons comes in, and he is Andre Richards. Now, whoever Andre Richards is, I'm gonna have to find out who he is, whose son is he, or he's a photographer, and he's normally out of town, but he's in town, and he was saying while he's in town, Chelsea, who is the youngest daughter, I think, of Nicole, possibly. No, it's Naomi, and Chelsea's her younger sister. So Naomi is Danny's daughter. Okay, I'm trying to get all this right, from the family tree. She is modeling too, and her career is getting ready to take off. She's getting ready to get some major exposure, but she's holding back. Now she's holding back because she knows her mother is going through this divorce. The divorce hit her out of left field. She had no clue her husband had designs on their child's friend. Now, yeah, they're adults, but still, you know, no. How long you been eyeing her, right? So anyway, um, she says, no, I have to be sensitive to my mother's needs. Because her cousin was saying, look, we got to do your TikToks, your Instagrams. We got to hit up social media. We got to get some buzz around your career. And she was saying, I got to just be sensitive to my mom. My dad's wedding, the dad and what was her name? Haley. Haley is the daughter's friend's name. Their wedding is coming up at the end of this week. Their wedding is being held at the country club, which is in that gated community, which everybody at the country club knows the Dupre family because they're the founding family. And they're having the wedding to just pretty much throw that into everybody's face. So um the Haley was at the country club. But before she got to the country club, Haley was picking up the keys to her house. Now, Danny's best friend, she's a realtor. She is another white chick on the show. I kind of think maybe she's going to end up being the nurse's mother, right? But we haven't gotten into that kind of tie, if there is one at all. But she was taking the keys over to Haley, or Haley was coming to the house to get the keys. So Haley rings the bell and the realtor opens it, and Haley's saying, "To think this is the last time I'm going to have to ring this bell." So the realtor drops the keys into her house. And so Haley says, "Is it furnished the way we want it?" And she says, "Everything is in place." And she says, "But I have to ask you something, Haley. Why this house? And why this neighborhood, this community? You have to know that most people here are loyal to the Duprees, and they know you broke up the marriage, you know, Danny and Bill's marriage." And she goes, "Bill and I didn't set out to fall in love. It's not what people think. You know, we didn't know we were going to fall in love." And she's looking at this big, beautiful house. This coming from somebody who didn't have families. Of course you fell in love, right? So Danny goes, "Well, here's your keys," drops them in her hand, and she leaves. So the realtor ends up showing up at the club because Danny finally gets to the club. But before she took the keys, met Haley, she was at Danny's house, and she walked in and saw a bunch of, shattered mugs on the floor. And they ended up having a cup of coffee together, Danny and her realtor friend. And then her realtor friend said, "I have an appointment." She didn't say with who. And so later on, she shows up at the club because Danny gets there late. She's pouting and brooding. Pretty much the whole family's there. Mama, daddy is there. Um, they're all kind of sitting around this area talking, and they're telling some stories. The mother and father are telling some stories about when they were younger, blah, blah, blah. And the mother and her sister, Nicole, were trying to cheer up Danny. And Danny's not, "No, until I make some people pay, then I'll cheer up." But anyway, the father got her to smile, got her to raise her head up high. She said, "Because you did nothing wrong, sweetheart. So don't act like you did," right? And so she sees Nicole walking by. Now, the husband, Bill, had called Nicole saying he wanted her to meet him at his, the motel, the hotel at lunch, and she goes, "Well, this will be the last time before the wedding." Uh-huh. Okay. Anyway, um, Danny looks so cross at her. So she gets up, and the family's like, "Oh, don't listen, Danny. Be calm, be cool." She walks over to her and she says, "It's bad enough. It is bad enough that you came in to my family and I welcomed you. I welcomed you into our home. I welcomed you into our family. And you choose to go after my husband." And she's like, Danny, Danny." And my whole thing would be, "It's Mr. Pretty to you, chick, right?" So she's like, "It didn't happen that way." And so Danny ends up saying something. She goes, "You could have stopped this." She said, "You knew where this house was being bought. You knew this house is down the road from my house. So I would have to see you too." driving by your house, right? She goes, out of all the houses and all the communities, why would you want to pick that one? She says, as a matter of fact, why didn't you live into the house that Bill bought when we separated? There was nothing wrong with that house. And so Haley said something, and Danny hauled off and slapped her across her face so hard it wasn't even funny. And the families kind of they stood up like, uh-oh, right? And Danny walks out. And so Haley is holding her face like, ow, she hit me. And people at the bar, it was so funny. And they had this one lady who was just looking like, comb wrecker. I mean, that's right. Deserve that. I mean, she was just, oh my goodness, right? Nosy neighbors, completely nosy, because they all live in that community mainly. So then the rest of the family is walking by Haley one by one, pretty much giving her the stink eye as they walk by, right? And the last one to walk by was Naomi, which was Haley's best friend. And Naomi is just looking at her like, not with my daddy. And she just walked right by her. So when the Haley, before she got into the dining room, the hostess of the country club, which going over the last minute details because the wedding's in a few days, saying, do we need to downsize the arrangements? And then Haley says, no, why? She said, because it's to my understanding, no one has RSVP'd and no one has said they're coming. She goes, I'm optimistic. They're going to show up. And I'm thinking, optimistic and willing to spend a whole lot of money to go to waste. Because here the venue is giving you the opportunity to downsize, right? And you're like, nope, it'll stay as is. So the coordinator's kind of like, okay, that's on you, right? So anyway, pretty much that was, they introduced all the characters, not all of them, but the majority of the characters on the show. We did not see Nicole's husband. I think he's a doctor. Nicole is a doctor. And I think her husband's a doctor as well, but I'm not 100% sure, the older daughter, Nicole, what her husband does. So, anyway, everybody, oh, the filming of this, I'm telling you, it looks so high quality. It did not give me a soap opera feel to it. It almost kind of reminds you of a prime time. The colors are crisp and clear. The cameras are stunning. They must be like some kind of 4-camera 3D, something going on, but phenomenally shot. Oh my goodness. I am very impressed with the quality of this soap opera. So I look forward to doing reviews for Beyond the Gates, BTG, and getting your thoughts. So if you saw Beyond the Gates today, in comment corner, put your comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Is it up in the air? I mean, I liked it. They pretty much got around to most of the characters, introducing them today. And we see the conflict and the drama mainly with Danny's character right now. So it gets 2 thumbs up for me. I'm really happy to give it 2 thumbs up. So I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to have to really figure out how I'm going to work this daily recap in with my schedule. I'll get it done, everybody. I will get it done. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily recap of BTG, Beyond the Gates.